Speaking of elections, elections are coming up over the weekend in Nigeria. Of course, there are several candidates, but two major candidates stand out: the incumbent Muhammadu Buhari and Atiku Abubakar. Those are the primary challengers. They are going neck to neck. Your thoughts in what do we expect in Nigeria?
It is very interesting that the two important candidates that you mentioned, both in terms of geography, as far as Nigeria is concerned, they both come from the northern part of Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Some would refer to them as people who perhaps come from or reflect what some critics, observers sometimes refer to as the Kaduna Mafia. They both come from northern Nigeria. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether Nigerians at the end of the day are feeling very comfortable with the manner in which Major General Muhammadu Buhari has been conducting affairs, in which case they can renew his lease in Aso Rock, the beautiful Aso Rock, by the way. I've been there, it's an incredibly beautiful place.
Nice, yeah.
Whether they can renew his lease there for another 4 years, or whether they would be interested in having someone new, and especially when you talk about Atiku Abubakar, he's not somebody that they don't know anything about. On the contrary, they know a lot of things about him, including, of course, the fact that he was vice president under the administration of General Olusegun Obasanjo.
By the way, I should add that until recently, Atiku Abubakar was not allowed to come to the United States because of the impending corruption charges against him. But that said, Buhari is running on the premise of fighting corruption, fighting the terrorism group Boko Haram, while his main challenger, Atiku Abubakar, is running on his mantra is sort of like make Nigeria great again. Trying to say that as a business person, he can take Nigeria to the next level. Your thoughts?
You know, it is very interesting that you say that until recently that Atiku Abubakar was not allowed to come to the United States. But you know as well as I do that he was actually around a couple of weeks ago breathing the air right here. True. He also happens to be a legitimate owner of an incredibly beautiful mansion in Potomac, in Maryland. Yeah, there are those types of problems and perceptions and what have you, which he may probably have to overcome in order to be able to become the next occupant of Aso Rock. Because when you think about the fact that President Buhari seems to have been fairly successful, at least, in terms of fighting corruption.
His critics say he has not done a single thing.
Well,
Nigerians are still very corrupt.
There are other sources that claim that he seems to have been fairly, successful in the sense that he has exposed the issue. He has brought the issue essentially on the table. It is something that needs to be addressed. He also initially had said that they had, in a sense, technically succeeded in the fight against Boko Haram, but it looks like the facts are totally different. He also obviously has a problem of, at some time, I think some point last year, having spent several months in the United Kingdom, when he was receiving medical treatment and all that kind of stuff. So there are some people who think that probably he may not really be as strong as he should be, but others say, no, he actually is. He's very good, he means very well, and he's the type of person that is incorruptible, even though supporters of Atiku Abubakar don't think that he's that very much different from the other average Nigerian elite.
Mm-hmm. Any predictions in Nigeria?
I would say that I am not a prophet, and therefore I don't think that I would want to be in the business really of predicting who might, in fact, at the end of the day, be the occupant of Asorok. But it looks like if everything that I have seen remains pretty much the same, it looks like it may very well be a Muhammadu Buhari again having the opportunity for his political lease to be renewed so that he can stay another 4 years.